welcome to the Hard Rock Sports Studios and another edition of the weekly video recap. The March 31st show kicked off with another
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes!
And there it is. That's my cue to start the show. Welcome to another edition of the Hard Rock Sports Show, live from a high top Hard Rock Sports Studios in beautiful scenic Monroe, New Jersey. We are your weekly 3-hour get-together where we bring you all of the biggest news from around the worlds of hard rock, heavy metal, and, of course, the wide world of sports. And, guys, welcome to Thursday night, another Thursday in September in the year of the Lord 2020. Although I'm not sure the Lord had anything to do with 2020 this year. But, guys, welcome aboard. The weather's been great. Lots of sports on the air if you care. Some people do, some people don't. I had a rough weekend trying to decide what I cared about, what I didn't care about. But but Jeff and I will get together tonight, and he's right here right now. We're going to bring you all of the biggest news, as the intro says. And welcome to Thursday night, everybody. Hefe, what's up, brother?
What's going on, man?
How was your week?
Good. Very good.
Lots to talk about tonight, Jeff. There's a ton of stuff going on in the world of sports. There's some stuff we've been kind of lacking, Jeff, and my fault. And totally my fault.
It's never your fault, man. I can't blame you for what's lacking, bro. You're just a civilian, man.
But we need, we haven't done a lot of music talk, but the honest truth is I scour the internet, and it's basically just bands, most of them ridiculous bands, just putting out a song or possibly talking about new albums or super groups getting together, and it just nothing ever sticks. So I actually found a few topics this week I thought would be good topics for us. So we're going to get it in, but we kind of got to do a better job of making this hard rock and sports. What?
No, I'm just very happy today.
Yeah, I know you're very happy. I don't know why you're happy, but you're happy. But we're going to get to that.
You know why I'm happy, man.
There's plenty to talk about tonight.
Yes, there is.
Yes, there's plenty to talk about, and we're going to get to all of it tonight. There's NFL Week 1, Jeff. I mean, let me ask you, as a lifelong football fan, especially the last few years, for both of us paying more and more attention to the NFL. Did it feel like opening week to you? Did it have that same thing that we normally get?
No, it didn't, because I didn't watch one single snap of any football games. I read about them in the newspapers and then the computer, but I just could not bring myself to put on a game. And
a lot of people felt the same way.
It made it. It definitely did not feel like an NFL opening season weekend because of it. Yeah.
A lot of people did. And listen, it showed. Thursday night's ratings were I think 16% down. The Cowboy one, I think, was 30% down. That was a Sunday night game.
Wow.
Now, I know that the Brady Breeze 4:00 game actually did better ratings than they did in the past. It was one of the better games. So it's kind of a mixed view. If kind of a mixed bag. If you're the NFL, you are going to spin it really good, but it wasn't a great opening weekend for the NFL. Let's put it that way, Jeff. And I think I'm going to be completely transparent. I watched maybe a half of the Jet game. I went over to visit my dad, and he was watching it. So I kind of watched the first half of the Jet game. I didn't watch much at all of the Brady Breeze game. I kind of tuned back and forth. I was watching something else, and I would tune over just for a series or whatever, just to kind of get an eye on it. And I didn't watch any of the night game. I did watch the Giant game. I'll be the first to admit I watched the Giant game. I was happy I did. I have a very good perspective.
It's not going to be an easy thing to just stop watching it just because of what's going on.
I agree.
You have to understand something. And a lot of people should understand it. Although, that they're doing things that we believe are against what should happen and everything else, you can't take away from the fact that sports is entertainment, football is sports, and you watch it to be entertained, not for a political message.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you're going to watch a football game because you want to watch a football game, then so be it. Watch the football game. What are you going to do? There's going to be some people that are going to disagree with that.
Oh, no, there's plenty of it, yeah.
But something? The thing that gets me, evidently the numbers prove that, ratings are down and everything else. But I would like to know if all of the people that you see on Facebook and saying that, oh, don't watch it, are they all not watching it? There's people that are watching that are saying.
Of course, Jeff. Listen, I think there's multiple ways that you can show your displeasure. One is not to watch. That's one.
Sharon just informed me that we're not showing up on Facebook right now.
Really?
Yeah.
We're live. I don't know how else to say it. Let me scoot over here to the Hard Rocket Sports page. Let's see.
You just said it.
Let's see, Jeff. Hold on a second. Upcoming. I don't know.
Today at 7:30.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. I started it late. So yeah. So probably right now we're not showing up, but we did start the broadcast, so it should pop up. But I don't know. Maybe we'll be for the first half hour. We won't be entertaining many people. I don't know.
Well, evidently.
All right. Well, listen. It is what it is. We'll be live when we can. So.
Well, anyway.
There's a few ways people, Jeff, can voice their displeasure. One would be not to watch the games. That's probably the main way. The other ways are don't buy products. Like I've been desperate to buy a new NFL hats. There's a couple I wanted. I wanted to buy a new Giant jersey. I haven't bought any, and I won't buy. I will not support it. So that I've done. And the other way would be not to buy any products from their sponsors. Pepsi or whoever supports the NFL. You don't buy their stuff, and that's just a third way you can voice your displeasure on what's going on.
Yeah, 100% true. And speaking of voicing their displeasure, there was one person, I forget the name, I should have wrote it down, that said that he was not going to wear a victim's name on the back of his helmet because he looked into it some more and he got the real truth behind it. Man, I wish I wrote it down. It would be on ESPN more than likely because I didn't see the NFL.
Yeah.
And basically he said, let me see if I can find it while I'm talking about
it.
Well,
there was a couple of guys. There was a kid, a tight end from one of the teams who didn't want to do it because he's got family in the military and he didn't agree. Obviously, the tackle Villanueva from the Steelers, I don't know if you saw that one. He actually, the entire team.
Breaking away from team choice for name on helmet.
Who was it?
Actually from the Steelers.
Al Villanueva, yes.
Yeah.
He wrote down the name of a black guy, a black army officer or a soldier who died in Afghanistan. And the team had decided to put some guy's name on their helmet who was killed by police in Pittsburgh, and the whole team was going to put that guy's name on there. And I'll tell you a fair story about it. So he doesn't. I guess he must have voted not to do it. So he goes out, puts white tape on it, and writes in this other guy's name. So it seems like his teammates and his coach kind of weren't thrilled by it, but they weren't going to stop him. The woman whose son, the rest of the team was honoring, let's call it, got pissed off basically and said that, basically he was dishonoring her son by not wearing it, and he was not basically doing the right thing. And I thought, what is it? Why do we all have to conform? If that gentleman didn't want to do it, why did he have to? And this is the same guy, Jeff, a couple of years ago when the Steelers all stayed in the locker room or in the tunnel. He was the only guy who went out on the field. He's an ex-Army officer. We did like 3 tours.
Then there was a second one. There's a second one.
Oh, I didn't know that. I know there's one.
Because right here, Steelers Pouncey swaps decal from team choice for name on helmet. Steelers captain Maurice
Pouncey.
Pouncey on Thursday announced his intention to make his own choice about what name to put on the back of his helmet, becoming the second player to break from the team's decision.
Oh, wow. I didn't see that.
The shooting victim, Antoine Rose, on helmets for the 2020 season. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't see that one. See, Jeff, that's, that to me, that's a grown up. That's an adult. That's a guy who says, let me not just, and I think a lot of players, Jeff, are just going along with this because they don't want to rile up the rest of the locker room. You got a handful of guys who want to do it. And then I think you got a bunch of guys who are just saying, listen, if I don't do this, am I going to cause a bigger problem in my locker room? Am I going to be against my teammates? Let me just do it and get it over with. Do you think that, or do you think I'm wrong on that point?
No, I think there's a very good possibility that that's the way it is. And I think a prime example of that is Drew Brees, who at one point felt one way and then completely caved into the complete polar opposite of what he was saying and being part of it, which I just can't understand, because you could represent yourself in a different way. And matter of fact, Pouncey from the Steelers, I don't know who I didn't read the whole article. I forget who he's picking, but why didn't the NFL turn around and say, in order to honor somebody, we're going to ask you to represent a black person that did something in their life, whatever. They gave their life up, whatever, and leave it up to the players and see who everybody would have picked. And I bet you there would have been a completely different thought process behind it than there is now.
I'm not going to. Now, again, I didn't watch any of the games in the beginning. I don't know what a lot of teams did. I will tell you that I was very disappointed with the Giants. I will tell you. I didn't see the beginning of the game. I refused to watch the pregame stuff. They did both. They did the national anthem and they played the other song. I would say a third of the Giants knelt for the anthem, but everybody stood for the other song, which bothered me. As a Giant fan, as an American, that bothered me. I almost preferred, what the Dolphins did, what a lot of teams did, which was stay in the locker room and only come out after it's all over. I would have preferred it. Now, I'll also say that that when I did watch of games, there wasn't a lot of fixation on the social justice messaging. Now, you really couldn't see the helmets unless there was once or twice that they actually zoomed in on one. That was it. It wasn't jammed down your throat, but there was messages in the end zone. They had some videos in between showing guys with wearing shirts and stuff. So I will tell you that they did touch on it, Jeff, but it wasn't down my throat. But I'm still very disappointed in what the Giants did, and it bothered me to no end.
Yeah, I don't blame it. I don't blame you for it bothering you. I mean, I understand that everybody's trying to get a message across. I understand that, but it has to be delivered the right way. All this is helping further create the divide that's already there. They're making it deeper and bigger, and harder to close. And it's a shame, because you got to wonder what's going to happen next. You really do.
Yeah, no, listen. I mean, and here's the thing that bothered me about it, Jeff. And again, I don't want to take this too political, but here's what really bothered me. I didn't see anybody mention 9/11. There was no moment of silence for 9/11. There was no moment to talk about. Nobody talked about the two cops who were ambushed Saturday in L.A. I'm sure you saw the video. Somebody walks up. There was no mention of any of that anywhere. And I think what really bothers me, and I think that's what bothers a lot of people, Jeff, is that if the NFL, sports in general, athletes, if everybody played both sides of the fence and said, hey, we'll stand for 9/11, whatever, I think it would make it a lot easier, but it's just this one-sided, one-way message, and I think that's the problem.
Of course, it's a part of the problem. But I mean, listen, once again, we've both said it. You come to watch sports to get away from life and politics and everything else, and bang, there it is. It's right there in the forefront.
Yeah.
Second of all, the people that are being honored, so to speak, honored.
Okay, air quotes.
Are people that, listen, why are they famous in the first place? They're famous because they met their demise at the hands of a police officer.
Yeah.
Okay. Why did they meet their demise by the hands of a police officer? Because when they were told to do something like stop, put your hands up, get out of the car, do this, do that, they chose not to. And that's where I have issues. That's where I have problems.
Yeah.
If you want to honor the right people, that's fine. If they deserve to be honored, then they should be deserved to be honored. But I don't see honoring certain people just because, well, it's time that we end this. Well, listen, nobody has been saying anything about black on black crime.
Nope.
Okay, which happens and has been happening all along. That's one thing.
Yeah.
Nobody ever said that most of the people's names that are being used in all of this and for reasons of protesting and everything else, they weren't all solid citizens. I'm not talking about their police records.
Yeah.
Let's forget that. That was yesterday.
Right.
We say people could change and everything else. So let's say that everybody changed from yesterday. Okay. That's fine.
Yep.
But you can't turn around and say every single one of those people pretty much put themselves in that position and chose to blatantly disregard, authority. And next thing you know, bang, they're dead because of it. Oh, we've said it 1,000 times. These law enforcement officials, they want to go home too. I work for the city. You work as a contractor, construction job. I work for the park department, and we get to go home at the end of the night. I mean, not all law enforcement officials, men and women and everything else, get to go home. So they got to do what they need to do to go home also.
Jeff, just look at what happened. This is why cops act the way they do. Did you see the video? And I'm not going to play the video. I thought about bringing it up, but I said, I'm not going to do it. What did you see what happened to those two cops who were just sitting in their car? I don't know if they were doing paperwork. They were on the lookout for something. Somebody just walked up and pumped a bunch of shots at them and lucky to be alive. Does anybody have an idea that what those cops did to deserve that? And then to see people across the street were laughing at the cops. Not everyone would go to help them, call 911. There's videos of people across the street who witnessed it, who just were laughing their ass off. Can anybody understand why cops would basically be a little jittery because when they're trying to stop somebody from doing something? I mean, let's be honest, folks. People make it what it is. I don't. Again, listen. I don't like it. I think it's been we've demonized the cops, and now look. Real fast, see the people in Minnesota, they were going to get rid of cops. They're going to take away money. They did all of it. And now they're going, hey, cops, we got a lot of crime now. Why aren't you fixing it? And the cops went, with what? With what? Minnesota Council, Minneapolis. They took cops. They laid off or got rid of 100 cops. They haven't hired any more. And they defunded them by like half the budget or whatever they did to them after all the riots. And now the crime is way up. They got more murders. And they literally came out and said, we need to know the cops. Why aren't they doing more about this? What are they going to do to stop all of this? And the cops went, what do you want us to do? You don't want us to do anything. Look at Chicago, Jeff. Last weekend in Chicago, more black men were killed or more people were killed in there than black men killed by the cops in the last year. Why isn't anybody upset about what's going on in these cities with people being killed?
Because it's going to be a long time before anybody points a finger at that and says, when is this going to change? How is this going to change? What is going to be done to make the change? It's just all bullshit.
Yeah.
And everything that you said is 100% true. It's right. It's right. These people, what did you think was going to happen?
Yeah.
When they heard that phrase, when the cat's away, the mice will play. And
absolutely.
It's happening. It's happening.
Yeah.
And what do you think is going to happen?
I don't know. Like I said, listen, I can't figure it out. Ratings were down. Here's what else. I'm going to get my dad on right now, but real quick, Jeff, another bad week of ratings, does the NFL panic?
No.
So you think whatever they're doing, they're going to ride it out for the year?
I got a feeling they're riding out for the year for a variety of different reasons. You're giving them already, you're letting them have this year, so to speak, okay? Yeah. Are you letting them have it because you know that it was going to be a down year, a bullshit year, that a lot of people aren't going to catch on right away?
Yeah.
Maybe maybe if the NFL said, yeah, okay, we could do this.
No fans in the stands.
Nobody's going to be watching it anyway.
Right.
There's nobody in the fans. There's no nothing.
And not for nothing, if they do that, and this is maybe too far into the thought process, Jeff, but if there's nobody at the games and nobody watches, next year's salary cap drops.
Well, you know what, Tom? The owners, I think, the least of their problems.
No, I got it, but I wouldn't put anything past anybody at this point.
Well, for the numbers that they're giving some of these players, I really don't think they give a flying fuck about them.
No, I think you're right. Well, I think there was a statement made. I don't know if it'll mean anything to anybody, but NFL Week 2, we got a lot to talk about tonight. We'll get to it. I want to talk about a publicist that Jeff will be proud of me. But let's get my dad on and see what he's got to say. He's been trying to get in and out. He's been going back and forth between the phone and computer. Let's get him on. What's up, Pop? Dad? I think he's frozen. Pop? I see him.
I don't see him. He's not on my end.
He's on my end. Pop? Yeah, I don't know. Hey, Pop. Yeah, he's frozen in time, Jeff.
I don't hear him. I don't see him. Nothing.
I'm not seeing. I see him. His frozen picture's up on my screen. He's gone now, so he'll try to probably call in through the phone now. But guys, we got a lot to get to tonight. A lot to talk about. NFL, obviously, Jets and Giants, both losers, but losers in a different way. We got a new segment tonight. I promised Jeff he can break in a new segment tonight. And the show is aptly titled "Jeff Hates the Giants," and you'll get to see why very, very shortly.
Did you download the stuff I was asking for?
Which stuff? Which stuff? I downloaded a whole bunch of things. What was it that you asked me for again?
I don't remember.
Oh, so how am I supposed to remember?
I think the heart thing.
Oh, yeah. No, it didn't get done.
All right. Don't worry about it.
I have to work on it. But we got a lot to talk about. NFL news and notes. We'll talk about a little bit of next week's game. Don't forget Sunday mornings. At least me and Jeff will try, like he did this week, to pop up during our Sunday morning NFL preview show. I went off pretty well. Got a good amount of viewers, and thanks to everybody for the kind words. I had a couple people reach out afterwards and say, hey, it was pretty good.
I wish I could have stayed on longer, but some fucking boob had an accident with a tractor and ripped the wheel off of it. And I had to deal with this. You know, I'm like the only one there on a Sunday, and they're calling me up like, hey, listen, man, my fucking tire flew off my tractor. I'm like, well, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you taking this out anyway on a Sunday morning? Go to church. Bring one or two guys in, and the rest of you go to church.
Yeah, so we'll talk a little bit about Rob Halford. We'll talk about the
Rob Halford and Paul Diano.
Yes, we're going to bring that up. I got a serious topic on that one. Quiet Riot. We'll talk about 2 high school kids suspended. Freddie Mercury refused to work with somebody. I'll bring that up to Jeff tonight. I'll see if he knew about it. Sirius SM's tomorrow afternoon has the 40th anniversary of Blizzard of Oz. Ozzy will be on Sirius XM Boneyard, the Ozzy Boneyard, talking about 40 years of Blizzard of Oz. He'll go through each track. And I want to bring up a little bit about Suicide Solution and what he actually wrote that for. And, Jeff, you'll be happy to know my dad hasn't popped back up yet, so let's see if he comes back on. But, we were supposed to have a guest, and I'm not going to go into who the publicist was and who the guest was. But, a while back, you always used to break Nikki's chops, and you broke mine about some of the guests we had. And I got to the point a couple weeks back where we were supposed to have a guest. I'm not going to tell you the name of the band, but a guy I've dealt with, he has what I would call D-level guests, clients. So I would take them on because I liked the guy. He was very nice, very accommodating. But what I started to realize was about 2-3 weeks ago was, let's get my dad on while he's on the phone, and then we'll get back to that story because I definitely want to tell you about it. Hey, Pop. Pop? Yeah, I don't know if it's us. Dad, you there?
I don't hear him.
Me either. Dad, you there? I'm not. He's not there. I don't know. I'm almost thinking they should come back. I can't. I don't know if I can restart the show. That's all. I'm afraid to end the broadcast and come back.
Well, if something happens, let's see if it goes on at 7:30. You got 5 minutes. Okay, that's one thing. Second of all, is this going to go straight to YouTube? Like
yes. Yes.
So at least it's going to YouTube.
It's going to YouTube. It'll end up in Facebook too. Pop, you there? I don't know why he's not popping up. I don't know what's going on. Dad. I got him in share mode, so he's there. I don't know if he's hearing us. I can't hear him, so I'm going to put him back on hold and see what happens. So, Jeff, let me finish my story. So, anyway, a couple weeks ago, I got to the point where there was the day of the show 2 weeks ago, and I knew we had a guest coming up, but I didn't chase it because it was a no-name, nobody guest. And right before the show started, I get a message from the publicist. Oh, such and such is ready to go. Make sure you get him the thing. Make sure you do this. Like it was like one of those like last minute. And I said to myself, this guy didn't do any sort of promotion. Basically what we are is, these guys get clients and they promise these clients they can get them interviews. And we're just a way of getting. Here's my dad. Let me try him again on the stream. Pop.
He's not there.
Hold on.
Wait a minute. There's a chance. I don't see him, dude.
Neither do I. Add to stream. Yeah, he's having all sorts of problems tonight. Pop. I don't know if he's having a problem, but you and I are here, so I got you on pretty easy. He has the same link. Pop, you there? Yes. No, Jeff, it's not him. Not that guy.
Okay.
Pop. I'm going to leave him up and see if he comes up. But anyway, I noticed that he didn't do anything to kind of, he did nothing at all. I kind of blew it off. We were ready to get the show started. So I said, screw it. I'm not going to get the guest on. So all through the show, him and the guest are popping up on our screen in the comment section. And they're going, he didn't get the link. Where's the link? He wants to come on. You know what? And I just blew it off. And then I didn't do anything. And I kind of just let it go. I didn't even answer his message after the show. So today I get him. We're supposed to have another guy on. And it's a guest we've had on twice. And the guy is a really nice guy. He's a pretty big baseball fan on top of being a kind of a country music guy, kind of a talented guy, but not really our thing. But I kind of like the publicist, and I really like that guy. So he sends me a message about 8:30 or 9 o'clock this morning, and he's like, "Oh, are you ready for Richard? He's got this, he got that, and I just sent him this, got to be like this big long message back, like, dude, I'm tired of putting you guys on. You do no promotion. You wait till the last second to let me know whether he's coming on or not. I don't want to do this anymore. If you guys aren't going to promote it and you're not going to get involved, I just don't have any issue. I have no interest in definitely not him.
Okay.
No, definitely not him. No. It's a publicist. That guy's Marcus Scott's great. I talk to him privately sometimes. He's a really nice guy, and he seems to like what we do. But that he could just be being nice. Who the fuck knows? But I just try my dad on the phone one more time. See if I can get him on the phone. Hey, Pop, you there? He's just not connected tonight, Jeff. I don't know what the hell's going on. So anyway, I was going to actually show it to you on the show tonight because I just like, listen, man, I'm just tired of people using us, and that's what these publicists do. They tell them, I'll get you 5 interviews a week, I'll get you 4 interviews a month, whatever it is, and they were using us for that. And I said, if you're not going to promote and you're not going to do this, and I didn't say I wouldn't use him anymore. And then he came back and said, look, if that's how you feel, screw it. I'll cancel tonight's guest and we'll just part ways. And I gave him a big thumbs up at the end. That's exactly how I ended it, with a big thumbs up. Now, I just said, you know what? Screw it, man. It ain't like I ever got anybody over a C rating from the guy.
Is this somebody that was working with a different producer at one time?
Well, this he's been around a long time. I think he started with me before, maybe with Joey. He might have started with Joey when Joey was producing. Well, but again, it was never, I did Chip and them. I get some low level, but then every once in a while they'll sneak in what's his name, Ross the Boss, or who was the guy we got a few weeks ago that was a good guest through them. Anyway, there's a couple other ones that I deal with that every once in a while they'll sneak in a really good guest. This guy, it's just nice people. Don't get me wrong; they're not a thing. I kind of just feel like I was doing him a favor. So anyway, we're no longer in the favoring business.
All of them are looking for that favor.
Yes.
We're all looking for that favor, and it's a shame.
Yeah.
And then it's a shame that in the past you're taking certain people, and I know that they've told you in the past, we'll get you this one, we'll get you that one, we'll get this one. And they just never delivered. And it's
I agree.
it's like, why bother? Because you're not, two hands wash, one hand washes the other here, and nobody's picking up the soap.
Yeah. Hey, Pop, you there? I don't know. I got him on the phone. I'm leaving the phone line open for as long as
7:30 now. Let's see if we
showed up on Facebook yet.
Yeah, I'm gonna look right now.
Dad. Hello? Pop, I got you. You there? Pop, I heard. Now I finally heard him. I know you didn't hear him.
I do not see him. And
no, I got him on. I had him on the phone.
I do not see if we were on. It is after 7:30. Tonight is 7:30. It's not coming on, Tom.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I don't know what happened. And it even says New Hard Rocket Sports planned to go live. Like, in other words, like it's not happening. There's the Sunday show.
Yeah, I see the Sunday show. Hold on.
I don't know, man. I don't
no,
know.
It says going live soon. That was 5 hours ago.
Well, I don't know what you do over there.
I'm afraid to end the broadcast. I don't know. I don't want to do that because then I don't know if we'll get back on again.
Listen, was there any guests planned for tonight?
No, no guests, nothing. Just
let's do a little bit. Do what we were doing. It's going to go to.
Yeah, it's being recorded, I guess, through whatever. It says you are live. It's telling me view on YouTube. It's definitely telling me we're live. So I know we're playing somewhere. I don't know why we're not playing on our Hard Rocket Sports page.
I'm telling my wife to look.
View as a visitor. Hold on.
Find.
Take a second.
I don't know what you have set up there. I mean, evidently there's some kind of glitch or something. I don't know. We're on. And
here's what I'm afraid of. There's that new Facebook the layout on Facebook. I just don't know if that's affecting it. Why is it waiting for live video? I don't understand that.
I don't know, dude. I don't know.
Hold on a second. I don't know what the hell's going on here.
Well, it's going on over the radio, right?
It is going out over the radio. I'm just trying to see why it's not going out on this. It's really kind of bothering me why we're not.
Someone just said that we're not showing up on the radio on our Facebook.
Yeah.
That is verified.
Yeah, I'm here and I'm not seeing it either. I don't know why. That's old. Give it a second more. Hold on. Let me just go in here and find this, Jeff. Hard Rockets will time out in 6 minutes. Start reschedule. What does that mean? Now somebody just popped on the screen. It's my dad. Add to stream. Hey, Pop.
Oh, there he is.
Hey, Pop.
I hear you.
There you go. What's up, Pop? Pop's having all sorts of technical issues tonight.
Is he having a ice cream or something?
It looks like he's having himself some sort of a chocolate ice. Hey, Pop, you there? Pop? Edit you. Hold on.
It took him that long to get on.
Yeah. Pop? Oh, I see something here. Hold on. Let's see if I can fix this. Browser version US. Hold on. Not now. I don't want to try something new I never did before. Is that going to help? That's not helping. Dismiss. Up. He hung up. Yeah, I don't know, Jeff. I don't know why we're not showing up live streaming. And I'm going to have to do a whole show tomorrow just to figure out why we're not on the air. I don't want to schedule. We are live tonight on Hard Sports Show. It says tonight at 7:30 p.m. I don't know why it's not on.
7:36.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, let's do a little bit here while we're here, and we could knock off early if you like. And
no, I don't want. I just don't know why we're not
tomorrow. See what's going on.
Yeah, I don't know why. I just don't understand why it's not broadcast. You know what? Real quick, I just want to shoot over to the YouTube page and see if it's there on the YouTube page.
Well, would it come on after it's released?
I don't know. It's supposed to be live on YouTube right now on our page.
Oh, okay.
So let's just take one more minute, and then we'll get to some show. Jeff, have you watched Cobra Kai yet?
No.
You got to watch Cobra Kai, Jeff.
What is Cobra Kai?
Cobra Kai is the Hard Rock Sports Show YouTube channel. Is the 34 years later, the Karate Kid. Oh, it's amazing.
Okay.
Yeah, we're live on YouTube right now. You can go to YouTube and see us, and yeah, we're live on YouTube. So it's nothing to do with us, that's for sure. It's something to do with Facebook, I guess. I don't know. So I guess, all right, listen, it is what it is. Let me see if my dad's back up. Let's see if we try him again. Pop. Yo, Pop. Repop. I'll leave him up on the screen. So, Jeff, let's get into a little bit of football. Dad? I hear him. Pop. Pop. All sorts of problems tonight, guys.
Yeah, I see that.
Pop. Yo, Papa. Yeah, I don't know, Jeff. Dad's having a tough time tonight. Switch. So, Jeff, let's talk about the Jets and Giants from this past weekend while we're on the air. So as far as let's do the Jet game first because I watched it and I know you got more stuff on the Giants and I really don't want to hear it, so I want to put that off as long as I can.
Oh, listen, the Jets without sin, my friend.
Okay,
I got just as much Jet shit as I do Giants.
Yeah, you know what? Here's the thing. You know, we can bash the Giants all we want, and there's something to that. But I have to tell you, I was extremely disappointed in what I saw of the Jets. Now, I think there was a lot of crazy stuff for football this week. Penalties were way down. You know, there was only 18 holding penalties called the entire weekend, Jeff.
It's because these guys can't lift their fucking arms yet to fucking hold.
Well, they say that there was the league basically said, listen, it's going to be ugly as it is. Let's not make it worse by throwing tons of flags around. So there was only 18 holding penalties called. But anyway, so the Jets, nothing looked right, Jeff. I mean, the defense was bad. The offense was bad. The offensive line, but the biggest thing for me, the most disappointing thing, was the play of your boy, Sam Darnold. Was terrible.
Well, listen, I was listening to ESPN today while at work, and when the bright spot of your game was the play of your rookie left tackle.
Yes.
There's some problems. Okay. One, Chris Johnson needs to be removed as the head of the team.
Are we talking about his backing up of your boy Gase?
Oh yeah, yes. Okay.
I think that was
Adam Gase, who for whatever reason just is afraid to use Le'Veon Bell. I think that they promised Bell some extra money, and they just said, "Listen, we're just going to bench you. Just be quiet. We'll get you traded to a contender." He's gone before the end of the year. I bet you any amount of money.
You think?
I think so, because come on, this guy, now you're going to hold him out for 3 weeks. You're starting a 37, 38-year-old running back. Adam Gase is supposed to be an offensive guru.
Yeah.
He's fucking ruining Sam Darnold. I told you, this is how the Jets could end up getting the first pick in the round draft this year for Trevor. Okay?
Yeah.
They give up this year both first rounders that they got.
Yeah.
Next year, a first rounder and a second rounder. Keep one of their first round picks, and bang, they could end up fucking moving up to the front of the draft, I feel. And throw Donald in there as trade bait and go after this kid Trevor, because you know why? You have to get rid of Gase at this point in time. You have to. Okay? He's fucking up Adam Donald. He's fucking up Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah.
He's just fucking up the team. He's a fucking idiot. He's a fucking moron. He's got to go.
Yeah, it's hard to argue. I mean, Jeff, like I said, I got to watch about the first half of the game. I mean, I thought the Bills played really well. It took. The game was as close as it was because the Bills kind of imploded a little bit in the second half. Otherwise, this was a 27-7 game if they were lucky. Not Sam Darnold's finest work. You're right. Adam Gase. I don't want to say isn't over his head.
He's in over his fucking head.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard for me to argue for him. I was a big proponent. I'm going to sit there and say I thought he would do a great job here. You were on the money. You were the one guy who said you were the one guy who said, me, Passamante, a bunch of people said, "Oh, this guy's going to be good." Carmine, and you were right. And you know what, Jeff? I'm not a proponent of firing a coach in the middle of a season, but I have to tell you, I don't think it's going to get any better. I don't think it's going to get worse, but it's not going to get better.
Throw fucking Williams in there as interim coach for the rest of the season.
Well, not for nothing, but Williams did his side of the ball did not exactly play really well. They looked overmatched.
Now I'm looking forward too. You got to remember they just traded Jamal Adams. Mm-hmm. Mosley ended up backing out of the season.
Yep.
They're thin at linebacker as it is. They're non-existent at defensive back as it is.
Yeah.
This is a team this team can't be. Matter of fact, when Todd Bowles was the coach, I think this team had more of a chance.
But you know what, Jeff? So here's what I'm going to say to you, though. I know you have been high on Joe Douglas. A lot of this falls in Joe Douglas's lap. They trade. They hold on to Adams and they trade him. I think the one thing, the bright spot is I thought Mark May, the kid May played really well.
Yes, he did.
But
Williams,
the offensive line does not look like it's stepped up. Le'Veon Bell's still a problem. Now he's hurt.
Well,
the offensive line was bad.
It is the first game. Okay.
Yep.
They have some subpar parts. This reminds me of Rex Ryan's last year when they were just trying to patchwork something together. Right. The reason I like Joe Douglas was I think that he stripped the team down in some areas and then is building it back up. He did what he had to do to rebuild the entire offensive line in the offseason. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that he's ended up getting the greatest offensive line. That was
we'll see. It remains to be seen.
But I know it's not.
Yeah.
No, it ain't. Okay. But he ended up he's trying. He did what he had to do. And we haven't had a general manager like that in a while. I think that Adam Gase was the wrong guy to hire from the start. Everybody was saying, well, look what he did with Peyton Manning. It's Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning. He did nothing at all with Jay Cutler. He did nothing. Ryan Tannehill isn't with him anymore. He's lighting up the league. Yes, it's only one game, but he's exactly like people thought he was going to play. Took his team to the AFC Championship game last year.
Yep.
And is off to a good start so far this year. It's got to be Gase. It has to be Gase.
Yeah, Jeff, it's hard to argue it. And here's the problem. There's not a lot of talent on this team. And the big problem is now I got to tell you, I mean, at some point, do you pull the pin, Jeff, and throw the grenade in the locker room and start from scratch? If you're Joe Douglas, you can't. Here's the thing: if you're Joe Douglas, you can't fire Gase and keep Donald. To me, you start from scratch.
Well, listen, I don't think that Donald is the answer. I told you that from when they drafted him. I told you that after his first year. I told you that after his second year. And I've told you before the third year started that he's not the answer.
Right.
Okay, he's making too many silly mistakes for a guy that's in his third year. Baker Mayfield, they're also looking to run him out of town in Cleveland.
Well, we'll get to that. Yeah, I want to talk about. I want to spend some time on the Browns because I heard that they're looking to. There's rumors they're trying to trade Beckham now.
Okay, but just
go ahead.
Back up a little bit. So it's this holding on to a quarterback until they do something is a waste of time, and it's bullshit. If Cleveland is ready to bail on fucking Mayfield, who was the number one pick in the draft.
But don't forget, a lot of people were surprised by that. A lot of people, probably including us, thought maybe, Donald was the number one quarterback that year. So the Browns moved up to get that guy, or took him maybe earlier to get him, and still, he has not lived up to the billing, Jeff.
How about this? Okay, I remember that draft. We all remember that draft. It was a good draft. We all look forward to it. We sat next to one another while it happened, and they were saying Mayfield, Rosen, and Donald. These three are going to be can't miss. They're going to be big in the NFL.
Yep.
Lamar Jackson, maybe a late first rounder, early second rounder. The kid from Buffalo. What the fuck is his name? I can't even think of his name right now. I'm so
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen. Maybe he's got a strong arm, but we don't know. And look what happened. The three, Rosen, Mayfield, and Donald, not living up to their billing. And Rosen might not even be in the league. I think he got signed by somebody's practice squad.
Yes, I believe he did. He is on somebody's practice squad right now. Yeah.
You got Lamar Jackson, who was fucking MVP, and it's the other kid from Buffalo, who took his team to the playoffs.
Yes.
And these other three, but let's narrow it down to two, to Mayfield and Donald. They might not even next year. They may not even be in the fucking league.
Yeah, I have to tell you, it goes to tell you, here's the thing. I was always leery of Donald because he had one great game. It was the Rose Bowl against Penn State. He just lit the place up on fire. But he reminded me a lot of Sanchez. Not a lot of stuff to wait on. To have one great year, and it's what I worry about with Joe Burrow. And we'll get to Joe Burrow and the Browns and all that. But the Jets have a big decision to make, Jeff, at some point this year. I mean, there's two choices. There's two choices when it comes. And Gase to me is gone.
I hope so.
Look, it's week one. As far as I'm concerned, it was almost a preseason. And we don't know. Listen, Mike Passamonte said, I think it's one of the smartest things he's ever said to me, is you don't know what your team is. You don't know what the league is until Halloween. Okay? That's, halfway through the season is really when you know what the league and your team is going to be. I'm afraid with this Jets team now, a tough run. They got to go on the road they're home to the 49ers this week. A very tough matchup. They're a little dinged up. The big offensive tackle, Becton, he's got a little bit of a knee injury. He goes up against Nick Bosa. This is a big test for the Jets this week. If they stay home and they get their heads handed to them, Jeff, that's an ugly start to the season for the Jets.
Well, first of all, when they announced the schedule, we knew that it was going to be a rough fucking season for the Jets. They had one of the hardest schedules in the fucking league.
Yep.
This is a team, everybody's afraid to admit it, except me. Okay? This is a team that's horrendous. They're awful. They're going no place. There's no bright spots. Something seriously needs to be done. They could have went with Mike McCarthy last year. After one game in 2020, I'm already telling you that Mike McCarthy is going to be light years ahead of what Adam Gase could ever hope to be. Okay, in this season alone. That's one thing right there.
Well, I mean, McCarthy didn't do a great job this week either, Jeff. I mean, I know we both didn't watch. I watched the highlights. I don't know if you did.
No, I didn't see any of the highlights, but I want you to look me straight in the face right now as we're sitting here.
God.
That Adam Gase is going to have a better record
than
McCarthy.
No, but McCarthy's got a better team in a bad division.
It does not matter.
Well, I'm not pinning it on that. I'm not pinning it on that.
It doesn't matter. I understand that by the end of the year, let's just say that the Cowboys are 11-5
right
at the end of all of this, and the Jets, if they end up keeping Gase, I'll be telling you right now, if they go 5-11, I think that would have to be looked upon as progress almost, because I don't
Jets?
think that this team, because this team doesn't. Come on, your second round draft pick is already on the IR, which means he's spending a minimum of 3 weeks away from the team. Okay, a speedy wide receiver pulls his fucking. You know what? Cut him. You know why? Because his career is doomed. I can tell you right now. You think this kid is coming back and is going to light up the league? Guarantee he comes back. I'll tell you right now. You ready? 22 catches, 350 yards, 1 touchdown. I bet you he gets numbers like that.
You think?
Yeah, definitely, without a doubt. He's going to be a bust. It's going to be a bust, without a doubt. Total bust.
I don't know. I have a hard time believing that, but again, I think the Jets.
He missed all of whatever camp they had. Season starts, they put him on the IR, so he's already out for minimum 3 games. Okay.
Yep.
He didn't even have a preseason because he was hurt. So even if he comes back after 3 games, they can't rush him and put him on the field. It's impossible. You're not going to see him till, I bet you, week 6, week 7.
You think?
Well, he's going to miss the first 3 games. He didn't get any fucking preseason work. You're going to put him out there after 2 hamstring injuries? You would put him out there?
No, I get it, Jeff. I know what you're saying. I just think that
and they're gonna say, well, he's out of sync and everything else. He ain't gonna go full bore till like week 13. You watch.
You know what, Jeff? I can't argue that point. I won't argue that you there that he may struggle. I think it's better to if him to the fire this year and get him acclimated. But like I said,
if they do, and he blows out a hamstring, that's it. That's it.
I got it. Listen, you're not wrong. You're definitely 100% not wrong on this one, Jeff. I won't argue it. So, listen, it is what it is. The Jets have a tough schedule. We both know it. It's going to be an interesting first couple weeks. I'm not a big believer in giving up on a coach in the middle of a season unless he's lost the locker room. I don't see that yet. You're not hearing the little comments from the players yet. A couple more bad games, you'll probably be whispering about him and Donald. So it's going to be an interesting time for the Jets. Bell's out for 3 weeks. Mims is out 3 weeks. Becton's already limping around. The defense is shorthanded.
Yeah,
it's going to be an ugly start.
What they fucking need a near 400-pound man limping around. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. All he's got to do is step the wrong way. That's it.
Yeah,
twist. That's it. It's over.
Yeah, we're going to run through the league a little bit, but let's get to the Giants. And I know you can't wait for this section. This is your new segment. I'm going to let you go first because this is the new Jeff segment. I'm not going to stand in your way. I'm going to respond. I'm absolutely going to respond.
I want you to respond. It's such a thing. Here's what I'm thinking.
Go ahead.
Okay?
Go for it.
The Giants, the New York Giants, once proud franchise, being sucked down the tubes by Mr. Gettleman. Like a bad gym teacher, Mr. Gettleman. Okay? But here's the thing. Let's get honest. Let's be serious. Okay? The Giants are a bad team. And I think they haven't even come close to realizing just how bad they could be for 2020. I think they're going to be really bad. Gettleman has done nothing to help this team along. Okay, he got a few high-profile spots filled on the roster: quarterback, running back, and then he drafts an offensive line. It's just between the pandemic and everything else. They reached for DeAndre Baker. Now this guy is going to be fighting his way out of jail. Okay, they have no defensive backs. Then all of a sudden, everybody is piling on Saquon Barkley, saying that he's not a 3-down back. That matter of fact, they're saying that he can't pass block at all. And the more that I read about it today, the more and more people are saying this. Then he goes out, 15 rushes for what, like 3 yards or something like that? What's that?
6 yards.
One more time, please.
6 yards.
6 yards for like a 0.04, a 0.4 yards per rush. Tom, let's dissect this one thing at a time. What is wrong with Barkley?
Nothing.
Say nothing. Wow.
Nothing. I'm going to be honest with you, Jeff. Here's why I'll tell you it's nothing.
Go ahead,
if you watched the game, which I know you didn't, and I wish the one thing I regret is I should have went and got the highlights of it. But
highlight of what? Of what?
Okay, when I say highlights, doesn't necessarily mean they're great highlights.
15 times his longest run was for 7 yards.
Yeah, I'm telling you,
anything else he went backwards.
Every single time he touched the ball on a handoff, I think there was only one rush he actually got positive yards on. Was a nice run down by the goal line. I think that was probably for 6 yards because I think the rest of it, he was negative. The problem was every single time he touched the ball, he got hit immediately. I'm not talking like he took 2 or 3 steps. The minute he had the ball, he was either trying to make somebody miss or getting hit immediately. He had no chance. Now, he made a nice 38-yard catch after run after catch. He had a bunch of nice catches.
Isn't he a running back, though?
Again, he's an all-around running back in the Walter Payton mode.
Let me ask you something. When they announce him, do they be like number 8, Daniel Jones or whatever his number, and all-around running back,
yes,
Barkley?
That's pretty much how they introduce him. Yes,
I gotta listen for that next week.
Listen to that next week. Listen a little earlier because you're missing the intro.
Yeah, I got to tape everything.
But I will tell you that I kind of agreed. I thought that his pass blocking on blitz pickups was very bad. He's recognition.
They said that.
He missed a couple times where he was stepping out to help Andrew Thomas and had to dive back in to try to attempt to make a block on a blitzing linebacker. Now, I'll say this. The Giants played probably the worst team they could have played because this was a really good defense. This is, I think, 8 or 9 starters back from last year. This is a team that is a good defense and should compete for their division title. But the Giants did well represented themselves. If you can lose a game and still come out of there thinking, "Hey, we played well and we showed something," I think the Giants did. And I'll let you keep going until you're done, and then I'll give you my reason why I think the Giants played a good football game.
I almost want to hear this. The other thing is Tom Gettleman. This guy is horrid. He's horrid as a general manager. Come on, you can't let your defensive backs be as deep as a cup of water, bro. You need to have a little bit more depth there. You know, a couple guys opted out of the season. I understand that. DeAndre Baker just opted out of the league, period, by being a thug. And Gettleman does nothing to try to, patch this up. What could he?
He did. He signed Logan Ryan, who was one of the last free agent corner/safeties out there, but they got him in a little late, so I don't think he was available. He didn't play too much this week. But listen, to be honest with you, I thought the secondary played reasonably well. I don't think it was great, but I thought they played well. They had a couple of breakdowns, but again, this is almost like preseason game 1. I mean, nobody out there, and you're right. I thought Bradbury played well. Their big free agent pickup, and I thought they tackled well. I thought Peppers played really well, especially on special teams, but he played real well at safety. And it's still a little bit of a work in progress, but I didn't think they played bad out there. I think the one thing, even Leonard Williams had a sack. He doubled last year's total in first game.
I'm trying to. Even Jason Garrett had something to say about Saquon Barkley, and
listen,
Saquon Barkley has now admitted that he's going to use Tiki Barber's words as inspiration. I'm trying to find what else.
That's bullshit. I mean, you know what? If Saquon Barkley needs Tiki Barber's put down of him to motivate him, then that's that. Go out there, play the game, play hard. And again, I like Saquon Barkley. Don't get me wrong, but he was out of position on quite a few blitz pickups. I thought he did a bad job. No, I'm not going to sit there and try it.
Third year in the league. This is
something
that he should be learning at this point in time. He should either have it or he doesn't have it.
I'll tell you, I'll tell you this. He's a good blocker. He sticks his head in there. He'll make the block. It's the problem is not blocking. His problem is is blitz recognition. Knowing where the blitz is coming from, getting there in time, and making the block. When he gets there, when he picks the right hole, he does a good job. There's no doubt about it. But his recognition of blitz pickup was terrible Monday night. So, but Jeff, I'll tell you this. I know you didn't watch it, but your boy Daniel Jones came out. He was on fire. Daniel Jones was the best player on the field for both teams, especially in the first half. But I will put him in the top 3 or 4 guys for the entire game. Daniel Jones played a hell of a football game. He made I'll even tell you the 2 picks. You didn't see them, but if you didn't see them.
No, go ahead. But go ahead, because I'm looking up Danny Boy's stats.
His first pick, he threw a slant that looked like he was thrown to traffic anyway. And T.J. Watt, the defensive end, literally jumped up and didn't knock it down, caught it. Just an amazing play. The second one was a tough one. The Giants had like a 19-play, 8-minute drive. They were on the doorstep, and he was getting badgered all day long by Bud Dupree. He rolls left. He tries to make a pass. Now, I don't know if he was throwing it away or throwing it to somebody in the end zone. Gets his arm hit. The ball goes up in the air. Interception, drive over. Again, could he have handled that better? Sure, but I'm not nailing him for that. I think he did a good job. I thought Daniel Jones was sharp that night. He had a bunch of drops a couple drops from his receivers, but I thought the offense played well. And I'll tell you what, the one thing I saw on ESPN, I saw in the Post, a lot of people said, this team's on the right track. They lost, but they're way on the right track and will probably do better than most people think this year. I like the Giants this week.
I know we could go back and listen to it. Just to verify, but I already know that I said that the Steelers would beat the Giants.
You did. You called it. You're one up on the picks this week. I'll get to mine later.
If I'm comparing his game to Roethlisberger, and Roethlisberger was 21 or 32 for 229 with 3 touchdowns, and the guy hasn't played since game 2 of last year. And Daniel Jones was 26 of 41 for 279. 2 picks, 2 touchdowns, plus he was sacked 3 times. He had a QBR of 51.9, and his rating was 79.2. This is another guy that you're going to want to have, and he only threw for 6.8 yards an attempt. This is somebody that's got to improve those numbers.
Oh, I agree. But again, if you watch the game, he had a few drops, and again, he was pressured all night. He took a lot of safe passes toward in the game. He threw a couple of a lot of short passes to Saquon Barkley. I thought Danny Jones played well. If he gets some more time, they give him a clean pocket. The kid can move. He made a couple of really nice plays on 3rd down and a 4th down, keeping drives alive. I was ecstatic about it. I thought the defense played reasonably well, much better than last year at any point last year. I was not crazy about the offensive line, but I'm going to chalk that up into game 1, no preseason.
Well, you could chalk it up to whatever you want. Normally, if this was the first game of the preseason, these guys would have played maybe 2 possessions, maybe 1 possession.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm not comparing to game 1, but I'm just saying that to me it should have been – this is like a preseason game.
Well, I understand that, but I'm saying let's call it for what it is. Yeah. You took guys that haven't been on the field since last year and threw them out for an entire game on the first game of the season. If this was the first game of the preseason, what would these guys have played? Maybe two possessions?
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. Yeah,
if that much. A lot. They wouldn't have played a lot.
No.
Now you ask them to go out there and play a whole game. But now let me ask you something.
Yep.
Okay, and I want you to hear me question.
Sure.
Before you give an answer. You can only pick one. Okay, Barkley or Jones. Who are you going with?
Oh, wow, it's a tough question. It's a good question.
Let's just say that out of these 2 young guys, young players, one of them is not going to make it.
Okay.
Let's say one of them is not going to make it. You get to pick. So who do you want to do?
Jones.
Jones, you want to go with Jones?
Well, because I think it's, I love the running back position. I think it's easier to find a guy who can run through an open hole than it is to find a guy who can sit in the pocket, complete passes, and be successful. I do. I think it's harder to do that. So to me, if you were telling me, Tom, you could have one of those two guys on your team, I'm keeping Daniel Jones. I love Saquon. Don't get me wrong, but I'm going with Danny Jones.
No, I mean, don't get me wrong. It is early in the year.
Yeah,
first game, so you don't know what's going to happen. But jumping on the Barkley can't block bandwagon picked up steam quick, and a lot of people,
yeah,
a couple guys on ESPN, Tiki Barber. I think Stephen A. Smith had some shit to say about it. Damian Woody was saying some shit. Even Barkley himself admitted it to an extent and said that he's going to use the words as ammunition to get better. So, it's early in the season. I understand that. But evidently somebody was seeing the same thing last year. And with the development of a younger quarterback, if this guy doesn't get his game on, it could hinder and hurt Daniel Jones.
Oh, absolutely. Listen, there's a lot of stuff that can grow for quarterback. And again, I'm going to point over to your boy Sam Darnold. I think that if you don't put talent around a guy or you put the wrong talent, it could hinder and it could hurt them. And I get all of that. So, I do. I agree with that 100%. I think that's a great statement, Jeff.
Somebody said today earlier, I forget who it was. I mean, I wasn't able to write this down, so I'm sorry. But they were talking about Daniel, not Barkley. I'm sorry. Let's try the redheaded kid on the fucking Jets, Donald. And they were talking about, what being in year 3 and basically him running around in the backfield like a chicken with no head.
Yeah.
Not knowing what to do, looking scared, looking panicked.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a shame because I said it from day one that I was, and once he started to play, I was like, this kid's not the answer. You're entering your 3rd year in the league. How many years are you going to get? Well, next year. This is his 2nd year with the Gaze and the same coaches. All right, so what? Does that mean if I go to hang out at the Jets that I would be able to play quarterback? Because it would be my 2nd year hanging out with Adam Gase and his offensive coordinator. It doesn't mean anything to me if the guy just can't play or isn't grasping what's going on. You can't take a chance and pair him up with a 3rd coach in his 4th year with a 3rd offensive coordinator. The kid is going to be tainted by this time.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt about that, Jeff. I agree with you there. That's the problem, and that's why I think the Jets have a big decision to make because you can't keep doing it to the guy. You're going to fire another coach. You're going to bring in another guy. You're going to bring in another offensive coordinator. I think this is tough for the Jets this year.
Yeah, I agree.
So let's, we're obviously going to see what happens. But I was enthused about the Giant game. I honestly was. I think that they showed me a lot. I think that they represented themselves well. It's a game they could have won. I got to be honest with you. I honestly believe that they could have won this game. A couple of different plays, one way or the other, and this game could have been won. That's the truth.
Well, listen, it is early in the season without a doubt, but I don't see the Giants doing much this year. I just don't see it, man.
Listen, listen, I understand it. You had to kind of watch it to see it. So I don't know. I don't know where it'll go. I think this is a big week this week for them, Jeff, to be honest with you. Hold on a second.
Well, we will find out and we will see. But where'd you go?
Right here. I'm right here.
What are you doing?
I just trying something to fix what our problem is. That's all.
And
just trying to fix our problems as we're going here. But listen, good. This is a big week for the Giants. This is a game the Giants should win. The Bears. I don't know if you pay attention to the Bear game at all.
I know that
they did win. They were down. I want to say 23-7, and they came back 3 touchdowns in the end of the game, and they pulled it out. So a big W for those guys, a big W for the Bears. But I'm not buying into the Bears yet. But this is a big week for the Giants. No doubt about it. They need a win here. It's only going to last so long, Jeff, for a team to keep getting congratulatory, it's the what do they call that? The participation trophy. So the Giants can't get another participation trophy this week. They have to go out this week and they have to prove who they are and what they are. So
I agree, but I really think that the one thing that neither one of us mentioned, and I wanted to see if you were going to mention it, and you didn't, of course, is Judge.
Go ahead.
His name is, I believe.
Yeah, Joe Judge.
Joe Judge. Introduce us to Joe Judge, Tom, because I believe he's just another branch off the failed Belichick tree.
Well, listen, it's hard to tell at this point, but I'll say this: I thought he managed the game well. I thought he did a good. There was nothing I could look at and go, oh, why didn't he call a timeout, or why didn't he run this play? I thought they were aggressive. I thought they did a good job. I thought that he did. I thought the team represented themselves. They didn't make a lot of mistakes. There wasn't a lot of penalties. So I want to give Joe Judge a grade A on the game. I was afterwards was a little bit, not that I wanted to blast his players, but I would have liked him to be a little more, hey, we should have won this game. We should have had these, problems. We should have did this, and this. It was too much. Oh, that guy is very attentive in meetings. Oh, that guy did a great job. It was a little too rah-rah for me. But again, I'll say this: for a first game, there's not one thing you could point to and go, bad job.
Well,
for one game.
Now the second game comes.
Sure.
And this is where you'll get a little bit more of a flavor for this guy. Okay?
Absolutely, yeah.
He already said, pertaining to Barkley, that he doesn't rip his players publicly.
Right.
So he'll do whatever he can to build his players up.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to talk about participation trophies, right off the bat, I'm not too happy about that. Okay? And I wouldn't be if I was a Giant fan.
No, again.
Second of all, I would also have to say, let's see what happens, what corrections he makes.
Correct.
Going into his second game. Okay. If you could see that there's some corrections that he tried to make or is just trying to do a little something different, then I could say, all right, you stand a chance. But, Belichick and the people that have coached underneath him, nobody has ever really gone out and had a solid career.
No, you're right. You're right.
And why all of a sudden him and not for nothing, Barkley, Jones, Douglas, Gettleman. Do you see that quartet doing anything? And be honest.
Honestly, Jeff, all I can say is this. Representative of the first game of the season, I'd say, yes, there's going to be some success. What that equals to, Jeff, I don't know. Right now, I love the way Daniel Jones played this week. I loved some of the talent out there, and I thought Judge did a good job, and what he's done to date has been great as a Giant coach. Like, he's done a nice job this season so far. Saquon Barkley, loved him the first 2 years. I'm not going to get off. I'm not going to come off Saquon Barkley now and say, he's not the answer. I need to see improvement right away from Saquon Barkley, but I need the offensive line to do better. So, yeah, I do, Jeff. I think this team's going to be successful. I don't think. Here's the difference, and I'm not picking on the Jets. I think the Giants and the Jets were two bad teams this year. The Giants came out this year, gave you hope, and the Jets came out and gave you nope.
Well, I mean, listen, you got to remember, what was the score of the Jet game? Do you even know?
27-17 or 27-16.
Okay, so they both lost by like 10 points, correct?
Correct.
All right, so I mean, everything I understand what you're saying about the Giants, but they still lost by 10 points.
No, I got it, but it was a different game, Jeff. You have to watch the game. Yeah, it's tough.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
But you still lost to a quarterback that hasn't played in almost a year.
Yeah, but again, let me tell you something. They did not win that game because of Ben Roethlisberger. Now, they didn't lose it because Ben played better and better as the game went on. He was bad early, and the Giants were all over him and the Steelers in the first quarter or so. The Steelers won that game because their defense is ferocious. Those guys can get after the quarterback, and they can play, and they sold out and would not let Barkley get started.
But this isn't a team that won a game 10-3.
No, I got it. I got it.
They put up a fair amount of points on the board.
Absolutely. No doubt.
They held, yes, I understand what you're saying, defensive. They proved that by holding Barkley to a minuscule amount of yards, per carry point.
Yeah, I got it. Listen, all fair, but you're not getting me off of it Not a second. I think
I don't expect you to get off of it, man. They're going to do it for you. They're going to do it for me. At the end of the year, I just want to see, fuck these guys. This guy Judge is going to go. Gettleman sucks.
Again, it's possible, but I can only go by what I've seen so far. So we'll judge it each week, like we always do here. I like the Giants this week against the Bears.
Is that your pick, by the way?
It's not my pick yet. I have not settled down on my pick. I have everything out in front of me. That is not going to be my pick.
I'd like to make my pick just to show you that I am a man of conviction here.
Go ahead.
Okay, I myself
go ahead.
am picking the 49ers to obliterate and dismantle totally the New York Jets. Right now, they're favored by 7.
Yep, that's correct.
I see this as another double-digit loss. I'm calling it now. And I think that they're going to beat the Jets so bad that it's, good God, man. It's going to be bad. It's going to be bad.
Well, it's an interesting week for the NFL. I mean, we're not going to talk too much. We're going to use this. We're using the Sunday show. Remember, guys, Hard Rockets Sports every Sunday morning, 9 to 10 Eastern Standard Time, where Jeff and I hopefully will get together.
I will be on this Sunday.
And you'll hopefully, at the very least, you'll see me, but hopefully we'll see me and Jeff, and we're going to go through all the games, make our picks for them, just kind of random and have some fun with it. We'll use Thursday night to do the breakdown of the previous week's games, and then we'll use that game for Sunday will be for the preview of the upcoming games. So we'll do that every Sunday morning. Hopefully you guys will check in with us. So Jeff likes the 49ers. I have a few games I like. I like the Rams, 1.5 over the Eagles, but I don't like West Coast teams flying across country. I love the Cardinals. Again, home to the Redskins, 6.5. But that defense,
I think that's a good one. I think that's a good one.
Yeah, it's probably where I'm leaning. I'm going to do that anyway. I'm going to go Cardinals 6.5 over the Redskins. That's Tommy Cards 6.5 over the Skins. Jeff, you know what? Let's switch gears a little bit and come back to football. I want to make sure I get in for as long as we're on. I want to talk a little bit about music. Jeff, you think when we were okay, if so everybody who is able to listen, Jeff and I have been friends since 1981, somewhere early January or so of 81. Jeff, do you think in sometime in the early to mid 80s, all of us metal fans could have accepted a gay metal band member out of the closet? Do you think it would have affected you, me, our crowd, if Rob Halford in 1982 came out and said, "Hey, I'm a gay man and I prefer Swanson's"?
Swanson's sausage for dinner?
Exactly, yes.
I don't think it would have bothered us, only because we always had the question in our minds, was he gay? And we all liked Priest anyway.
Yeah, I know that when he came out, it was like, who cares? And like, almost, you're right. Almost like, well, we kind of already knew, but I wonder if, huh?
You just verified. It's like, well, what does your mom put in her chocolate cake, man? Is there chocolate in there? I don't know. I never seen her make it, but I have to ask her. When she gets home later, I'll ask her. Okay. So
yeah, I wonder if it would have affected some people in, don't forget, metal is a macho, the sweaty leather, power music, fist fighting.
So slow down here. Slow down, because you're just incorporating way too many things, talking about Rob Halford. Leather, sweats, fists.
Well, and it's funny because if you think about it, Jeff, back in that time, if anytime you saw like TV shows or movies, it was always gay guys wearing leather and studs and the hats. And then we saw Halford come on the stage, and it was like, it wasn't gay, it was cool. But we didn't really know Halford was gay, but he was being gay. We just didn't know he was being gay.
He was being beyond gay.
Yeah. So now I read an article this week, and I said, I got to bring this up, that Rob Halford got drunk with Paul Di'Anno. Now, it's famous. Maiden made some bold statements, and the funny part was, Di'Anno's quote was, Maiden's going to blow Judas Priest off the stage. And Halford, in his drunken state, said, well, if he's offering to blow Priest off the stage, maybe I have to take him up on the offer.
Yeah.
And took him back to his hotel room to hang out and have some drinks, but actually got too drunk to hit on him. And I said to myself, that has got to be the most revolting thought I've ever let myself have, is Paul Di'Anno and Rob Halford going at it sweaty all over the hotel.
It wasn't that Paul Di'Anno comes out years later and says, I wish I had a chance at him when I had this chance. And then Paul Di'Anno counter offers with, I was just too drunk. It's like Paul Di'Anno is now regulated to a wheelchair last I saw.
Yeah.
We know it. This guy is building a ramp and has some rope and a tree, and he's going to attempt to fucking drive to the top, and like, please push me off kind of shit. The metal god wanted to lick my pee-pee. God only knows.
Yeah, I just wondered though, like, it might not have affected our crowd. I think our crowd was a very, I don't want to use the word liberal, but there wasn't a lot of racist talk. There wasn't a lot of, we did a lot of homophobic bashing, but there was more like, Jeff, you're gay. Joey's gay. Certain members were gay at the time. We didn't know it, but there was a lot of that going around. But
I mean, we weren't going out and burning somebody's house because we thought they were gay.
Correct. It never, it never affected. I mean, it never affected. I never saw it affect our crowd in any way. Any sort of, everybody was welcome. Didn't matter. We might abuse you, but everybody was welcome.
That's what friends do to one another. Yeah. That's one thing.
Yeah.
Okay? Also, too, I wanted to keep in mind that we did not have any other races that hung out with us. Not because we didn't want them to hang out with us, because there was a lack of the chance and other races that wanted to hang out with us, really, because it was the area, the neighborhood that we grew up in at the time.
Yeah, I mean, our neighborhood wasn't integrated that way.
No, but there was nobody that was, once again, burning crosses on people's lawns either.
Well, listen, there was definitely some guys in our neighborhood that I could easily see going home and starching the sheets at night.
Yeah, but I'm talking about
But you're right.
That we hung out with.
No, absolutely. And again, I think about it now, like, what was there ever a guy who was even on the peripheral of our crowd who was black or Hispanic in any way? And I can't think of anybody that was.
We grew up in a white Italian neighborhood. Paul Gill was Spanish.
Yeah, but again, I'm talking. Again, yes, I'm just saying. Other than Paul was the only one of really. Otherwise, Bobby Peck, Jimmy, you, me, Ganskarski. It was predominantly Italian. There was some mix. I mean, Joey and you had some Polish, and I don't know about Jimmy, but
it was joined by Italian, except for Paul.
Yeah.
Whose relatives could make rafts out of raincoats and plastic bags.
Yes, but
we're not allowed to say that.
But yeah, but again, I was just curious when I read it. I said to myself, I wonder if it would affect it. Like we totally ripped each other all the time, and we loved each other. Not realizing it then that we did, but we ripped each other, but we never let anybody else do it. But would I have called you up and said, Jeff, we can't like Priest, Rob Halford's gay. Can't like Rob Halford. He's gay.
I don't think we never said that, because I remember, like, Rob Halford's gay. And like, he's not gay. He's fucking in Priest, man. What the fuck is the matter with you? But like, nah, he's gay. He's gay. Like, no, he's not. No, he's not. And then you would always have like that question, like, maybe he is gay. Maybe when he's singing Victim of Changes and he's screaming, maybe he screams because somebody poked him up the ass. I don't know. And lo and behold, he's about as gay as they get, man. I don't think that you can really find a gayer musician, especially a metal. Maybe Johnny, what the fuck are chances are? He sang Chances Are.
Johnny Mathis.
There you go. Maybe Freddie Mercury was gayer than Rob Halford. I don't know.
Well, I got to be honest with you. I mean, even think about this this way. And here's why I'd say we don't, I don't know if we ever talked about Queen being actually gay. Like, all right, it's Queen and Freddie Mercury's got to be gay, but I don't ever remember it ever being discussed.
No, but see, here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
This is the difference to me. You ready? Because this is probably where you're just going to see the screen go black now, and something bad is going to happen. But fuck it, I'm going to do it anyway. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Freddie Mercury, definitely a homosexual, right? Or bisexual at the very least. But I believe that Freddie Mercury was just like he was banging anything and everything because he was Freddie Mercury, because he was in Queen. And if today he wanted a guy, he would get a guy. Tomorrow, if he wanted a girl, he can have a girl. He can have whatever he wants because he was Freddie Mercury. And I firmly believe that while near the end of his life, he might have been more gay than straight. But I believe at a time he was definitely more bi than gay.
Well, he said that he said that he enjoyed both men and women, but I think that was out of, to be honest with you, I think that was out of more keeping up appearances and what people are used to. I believe that Freddie loved the Swanson dinner much more.
I don't know. I'm talking when he was younger, when he first came out and everything else. Maybe he was hiding it because of what was, of the time frame and everything else. But I just don't think. I think that his preference went more towards men as he got older and closer to dying than he was, when he first came out.
Yeah.
Whereas opposed to Rob Halford, reminds me of the typical, like you would see how they portray the gays. Like especially the leather gays. I mean, he's in a room with 10 guys, and next thing you know, you hear, 11 zippers opening up, and Rob disappears out of camera view for a while, and stands back up in a half hour or so. I don't know, like just, like all of the things that you'd be like, men do this to one another. This is where Rob Halford resided in this end of the spectrum. You know what I mean? Like he didn't just go, well, I'm going to go for a few beers and try to bang Paul Diano. Like, he was like, Paul Diano has like 7 friends with him. And, I'm going to see if I can get all of these guys to,
I would just like to go back to 1982 and find our younger selves and ask them if we would have had a problem with it. Because I don't believe we would have, but I think we would have made more fun of it than we did.
I don't think that the younger us would talk to us now.
I agree with that.
Fear of like, this is what I'm going to look like. This is what I'm turning into.
Hard Rock Sports, Jeff and Tom. Yes, I don't disagree with that a second. Speaking of Freddie Mercury, let's stay on that for a moment, for another minute, Jeff. There was an interesting thing that I read also. It was like the top 21 facts you didn't know about Freddie Mercury. Most of it was kind of boring. It was nothing spectacular. He liked cats, and he had a fiance for 6 years. Was there really? I doubt why he didn't marry her. Who he left his money to? All that. It was just normal, stupid stuff. The one interesting thing I found out was there was a chance that he could work with Michael Jackson. Now, this is when Jackson was doing height of his career. He had done stuff with Paul McCartney. He had done some stuff with other singers. And the one person that Freddie Mercury would not work with was Michael Jackson.
Why?
He thought that, and this was, I thought, kind of funny. Freddie Mercury thought Michael Jackson was too odd to work with.
Wow. Okay.
Now I said to myself, that would actually, I thought, been a pretty good pairing to do a song with. I mean, his Freddie Mercury, one of the best voices of all time. Michael Jackson, one of the greatest entertainers of our lifetime. And Freddie Mercury, who was a little on the odd side himself, thought Michael, who would like to bring his pet llama to the studio for recordings, Freddie thought Michael was just a little on the outside of strange.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, I hear you. Matter of fact, there was a video just to show you like the pot calling the kettle black. And if you look up the video, you'll be able to see it for yourself. The Queen video, Don't Stop Me Now. You've heard of that song.
Sure, I love that song.
Yeah. Freddie Mercury is wearing a shirt while filming that video.
Huh?
And it was for a club that was up in the city called the Mine Shaft. Any idea what kind of club this was?
Well, I would say that the mascot was a gerbil. If I'm going to guess,
there were rumors that Freddie would spend time in the kiddie pool.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, and while the others made it rain. Yeah. So now I don't know how true it was because one, I don't participate in that. Two, I was not there, and
that
three,
night at least.
it's Freddie Mercury, so I could definitely see him with his water wings on, no doubt, in the deep end of the pool too.
Yes, I would not doubt that for a second.
You know, but so needless to say, it's like, well, what the fuck was going on there? This place was like notorious for some real fucked up shit.
Yeah.
And there was Freddie with his Mine Shaft T-shirt. You know, it
is. Yes. Well, listen, that would have been an interesting pairing. I wish that would have happened because I think would have been some good music. But Freddie didn't happen. And
who gets top bill there, Tom?
What's say?
Who gets top billing? Because that had to be around the time
Michael Jackson.
Freddie was and Queen had to put out another one, Bites the Dust.
Yes, it was right after. I would tell you, Jeff, that Michael Jackson. See, Michael takes a backseat to Paul McCartney because it's Paul McCartney. So it's Paul McCartney and Michael Jackson. I love Freddie, no doubt. But if you were selling that at that point, you were putting that out for people to buy, you're going to get a bigger audience reaching out to the Michael Jackson than you would for Freddie Mercury.
Yeah, but you don't fucking put that as just Queen with Michael Jackson or Michael Jackson and Queen. You know what I mean?
No, that would have been. I would assume it was a solo thing. It would have been Michael Jackson and Freddie Mercury do something like Michael and Paul McCartney.
Yeah, I wonder what it is they would have done.
Knowing they're both to their history, it could have been a lot of things. It could have been hanging out the mine shaft together, for all I know. But we'll have to leave that for another day. Jeff, let's see what else I want to get to tonight. Let's see. Let's talk about. Let's stay on the music topic for a few more minutes. 40 years ago, Blizzard of Oz. Now we've talked about it here. We both think it's a great album. I think it's the most important metal album of all time. You don't feel that way. You obviously go back to the Sabbath and the architects of metal, and I agree with that. But I think Blizzard of Oz put metal on the map. Metal became metal because of that album coming out. Everybody went from Jordache jeans to painted denim jackets after that album came out.
See, another reason why I totally disagree with that is because when I was in high school, freshman in high school, I went in 1980. Okay, I was there when that album hit the scene in school. Now I know that you're like a year behind me, so it was a little bit different for you. But I remember going into school, and there was so many different things going on in the music world at that point in time.
Yeah, sure.
With punk, new wave, disco, metal, and then when it came to metal, you got to think that was right now 40 years ago. If he wasn't already dead, John Bonham had days to live. You know what I mean? He was at the tail end of his life. He was just about to die.
Yep.
Sabbath came out with Heaven and Hell with Ronnie James Dio. Ozzy came out with his album and introduced the world to Randy Rhoads. You had the Cars. You had Duran Duran. You had all of this disco shit.
Yeah.
You had The Who that was coming back with an album. Keith Moon had just died. You had the Stones that were still out. The music scene was quite the scene at that point in time.
No, listen, I won't disagree with you. I mean, I'm sure it was.
Keep it up.
Yeah, yes, no, there's no doubt. I just think that, again, Sabbath were the architects, and that was the early 70s, but metal didn't become metal till after that album came out. And like I said, for me, I went from going to school and seeing guys wearing Jordache jeans and sham shirts and listening to listen to the Cars, to all of a sudden having Blizzard of Oz painted on the back of their jackets and listening to Randy Rhoads, and that's everybody's playing guitar and everybody's getting a band together and everybody's growing their hair long, and again, I think there's a 1980 for music, especially for metal, is the big year. I'm sorry, you got Iron Maiden album, you got Priest coming out with the big album. I think British Steel that year. Back in Black. I mean, I could go through a list. We've done it before. So there's so many big albums out that year for metal that, and then you ended stuff like Rick Springfield, like Jeff said, the Cars, and, so much great music out there that 1980 is a big year in music, but huge in the year of metal. And but I think 40 years, I'm glad that they're celebrating that on Ozzy's Boneyard tomorrow. I think at 5:19. I'll be probably driving home, so I'll get to listen to that. And but the one thing I wanted to bring up was they're gonna go track by track, Jeff, and they're gonna talk about each song and what it meant. And if you remember, there was a big lawsuit filed in the early 80s. Somebody's son had shot themselves, and they were kind of quoting the Suicide Solution song.
Mm-hmm.
And Ozzy, for years, has said basically that song was an anti-suicide song.
Yes.
And obviously the lawsuit got thrown out. The Ozzy didn't lose any money. There was no way to, But what I thought was interesting that Ozzy wrote this, says, and is going to say in this thing that he wrote that song as paying homage to Bon Scott.
Yes.
Which I had no idea.
Yes, I remember hearing that once before.
Yeah, and I thought that was interesting. And here's the thing. I got to be honest with you, Jeff. I don't know if we brought this up before. I know I spoke about this with Joey once a long time ago on the show, but I could not tell you 95 or 98% of the songs ever written that I like and know the words to have no idea what the meaning of the song is. Yeah, I do not care.
I hear you. Well, some songs are quite obvious.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead. I got you. But just to name it, it's the title of the song alone.
Snowblind, gives away pretty much exactly what it's all about.
Gotcha.
A lot of Alice in Chains songs are blatantly about drugs, especially the songs with Lane Staley. But you're right. A big song for me that I didn't know for years what it meant, because I never put two and two together, was Like Suicide from Soundgarden. And have I ever told you about that song?
I don't think you did.
Real quick, when you get a chance, listen to it and read the words. What happened is he was away someplace, Chris Cornell, and he heard a thud from the other room. So he goes to investigate, and he sees a crow on the floor flapping around. And what ended up happening is the crow, from the best that he could tell, flew into a window, a brand new window, clean window, whatever it was. The crow thought it wasn't there,
right?
And ended up, injuring himself, and now Chris Cornell was faced with: do you let this thing slowly die, or do you help it along? And so he opted to help it along. But if you read the words, you would never, like when I heard Like Suicide, I'm just thinking that he's thinking about committing suicide.
Yeah.
But he likened the bird's accident to the bird committing suicide. So, like, the song had like a double meaning, and just when you get a chance,
I'll take a look at it.
Do it. It's a good song. I think you'll like it. It's off the Super Unknown album.
Yeah, I mean, listen, again, I have never found it in me to read the word. I mean, again, there's songs that'll come on, and I'll be driving with my wife, or I'm in the car by myself, and a song will come on, and I know the words, and I'll sing the entire thing, and then I'll think, do I really even know what the song's about? And I don't. I have no idea putting the words together. What they would get, I just, I just don't care. To me, it's not about the words of the song. When somebody asked me this when I was a kid, I think it was my dad and my uncle Bob. I was playing at home, and they came in and they asked me, they listened to what I was playing at the time. It was, when we were kids, you put your record on and you were trying to play to it, and they said to me, "What makes you like the song? Is it the words or the music?" And I took a second and I realized it was the music, because I didn't even know the words. And it's just the melody of the song. If the song has a good melody, you could be talking about wiping your ass, and I could care less what the words mean. It's just about the word. No song has ever reached me, if I could say that the right way. No song has ever went, wow, that's deep. Like, I just don't care.
Well, I understand you, but certain songs, I would say the same thing. Like, no song is ever like, wow. But there are songs that when I've listened to the music, the lyrics, or read along or whatever, And then I realized, like, wow, like the message was, very blatantly there. How did you not pick up on it that you needed the lyrics, or, you had to speak to somebody and be like,
Yeah.
what is this song about? Like, but certain songs, after knowing what they were about, like after hearing them for maybe a couple years or whatever, you'd be like, wow, that's pretty cool. Like certain people could write a song to an extent where you just don't know how they're going to get that message across.
No, I got you. I get it.
Like, and Lane Staley does a lot in Alice in Chains, especially the Dirt album. A lot of examples for that. You listen to that and then you know why this guy was found dead the way he was.
Yeah. No, again, listen, I just, like I said, just never been in me to kind of dig down and figure out what a song means. It's just, I love the melody of songs, certain songs. And like I said, I love Maiden. Maiden is famous for their lyrics, like Rush, another band. Famous. I couldn't tell you what they stand for. I wish I could. But to me, it's just about the melody of the song. So
the song "Witch Hunt" from Rush, Moving Pictures. Do you know it?
I know the song. Go ahead.
Okay, when I first heard the song, I was like 13 or 14 years old when that album came out.
Another 1980 song, right? Another 1980 album. Go ahead.
Yeah, so for another 40-year-old album. Okay, and I remember listening to the song "Witch Hunt" for the first time.
Okay.
And it caught me because it was like you hear a crowd in the beginning, and it makes it seem like, oh, they're hunting for a witch. So the song is "Witch Hunt," but it's not. It's not. It's like how somebody gets like persecuted through the media, I guess. It's,
oh wow.
Like you gotta check that one out too, man.
I will check that out. Yeah,
it's a good one, real good song.
I will absolutely check that out, Jeff. No doubt. Let's keep it going here a little bit, guys. Hard Rocket Sports, 347-826-9934 on the radio side. We're having some technical difficulties. I think I figured out why. There's a new version of Facebook, and it requires some stuff I need to do, I guess, to make the show adaptable to it. So when the show ends tonight, seems like I got to download a new version of Chrome, which I use for my browser, and then enter some codes and this and that. I have to kind of do some. So after the show, I'll try to get that done so that we have that.
It's amazing. Everything that doesn't work usually involves a new version of Chrome.
Yeah. Again, I can go to Firefox, but I know there's been some issues with Firefox over the years. So I like Chrome. I think it's easier to use, but so I'll have to figure that out after the show. But I do want to get to a couple more things, Jeff. As long as you got the energy still. Let's talk about the Browns. They're on my screen right now. I've just flipped over to the game to kind of catch up and see what they're up to. Browns are losing 3-0 to the Bengals. Let's talk about it because it's an interesting two quarterbacks to talk about.
Okay.
Browns get their heads handed to them this week. I think it was 38-6 by the Ravens.
Yeah, they got fucking destroyed, man.
And this is a make or break year for this Browns team. I mean, tons of number one picks all over the place. High priced, high talent players. A quarterback who's been brash and boasting. Jeff, they got their heads handed to them. I heard Shannon Sharp and somebody else talking today. And Shannon Sharp said they got to trade OBJ. They said there's no chemistry. And I'm going to ask you this question, Jeff. Do you think Odell Beckham now regrets how he acted with the Giants and how much his career has gone off the track because of that?
Not at all.
No?
Not at all, because of one word. Guaranteed. As long as the guaranteed money is there, he's a money player. If he wasn't a money player, he would look to get out of the Giants to go someplace that he had a chance to win. Mm-hmm. He's now a 6-7 year player.
Yeah.
If not more at this point in time.
Yeah, at least 6 years, I'd say.
Okay. So if he was in it for the gold and not the kind that you put in your pocket, I'm sure he would have liked to have got out of fucking Cleveland.
Yeah.
And went someplace else. Okay. You can't tell me that the Browns are stuck with him. I find that hard to believe.
Well, think about it, Jeff. He's got a big contract. He's not produced in 2 seasons in Cleveland. He's still got all that giant stuff hanging out. He had a another tough off season. Didn't want to play, gonna play. Let's not play, but pay me. There's a lot of stuff going on there. I mean, now this Browns team, the quarterback has not lived up to it. They've gone through 3 coaches in the last few years. This is a franchise that needed to have a good season, and they're in a very tough division, Jeff.
Well, yes, they need every team needs to have a good season, but I think what this team needs in particular is a strong disciplinarian of a coach, and continuity.
Sure.
And I don't see them really having either, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of coach Kevin Stefanski is going to be. The Browns just scored a touchdown. I believe they let some people into this game tonight. That's one of the reasons why I want to check it out. But Jeff, it's just Baker Mayfield has been brash and boastful and not lived up to the number 1 pick. Now he's playing against a guy tonight who is the next number 1 pick, who was a vastly different number 1 pick. And here's a guy who came out of LSU, won a national championship, and had the quietest offseason, I said it to you last week, of any number 1 pick ever. So you couldn't have the contrast, a bigger contrast in players, Jeff.
No, definitely, without a doubt. But, you got to think of, would life have been a little bit different for Joe Burrow if it wasn't for COVID-19?
Yeah, that's a good point. It's an excellent point, Jeff. I can't argue that.
I don't see that kid as being brash and cocky. Not on the same level as the way that Baker Mayfield and other previous number 1s and highly drafted players were. I don't see him like that.
What's an interesting one about Baker Mayfield? He was a very big proponent early on this year of kneeling. I'm going to kneel. I'm going to kneel. I'm going to kneel. And then he came out the other day and said, I got a bunch of emails. I got a bunch of letters from people. And I finally realized how important this is to people. And I'm not going to kneel. And he did not kneel for the anthem opening night. I don't know if he did today or not. I did not see it. But, is that a, how do you think that looks, Jeff, if you're a guy who's basically letting the mob, and again, conservative mob, our mob, do you think he got scared and said, I can't afford to have this affect my advertisements and future, and kind of said, screw it, I'm going with my gut? Or do you think this is somebody who just said, hey, maybe I read it wrong?
I don't think that's the case. I think that somebody is advising him, like, why don't we back off of this and, just take it one day at a time, and, let's not announce 6 months beforehand what you're going to do and how you're going to change your mind, and, just sit back and relax and enjoy the ride, and let's take it in one day as it comes, because we don't know how this is going to affect everybody. And, you're not doing so well right now, and, maybe you don't get picked up.
Yeah.
You're helping to make their mind up that you don't get picked up.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I mean, this again, there's another team and another player who I think is a make or break this year. I mean, this Brown team is in a tough division. I think Cincinnati may be better this year. I don't know. We're going to see. They definitely played better. I think
Joe Burrow, but better than, I think the Cincinnati will be a better team simply because of Joe Burrow. I don't think that they're going to be a better team than the Browns. I don't see.
Oh, Jeff, I'm trying to pull up their game from the other day. Joe Burrow's, they lost. They had a chance to tie the game. They lost 16-13 to the Chargers. They had a chance to tie the game. The kicker, I don't know if you saw it. Did you see the play when the kicker missed the field goal? Did you see it?
No, I did not.
I can show it to you, Jeff. Hold on. But I would not be shocked based on what I saw week 1. Now, again, it's only week 1. We got a lot of football to play, but it wouldn't shock me if they finish 4th. I mean, they're going to finish 3rd or 4th. What's his name?
Mayfield.
Yeah, the Browns. The Browns are going to finish 3rd or 4th anyway. So I don't think that's the question of the day. Let's get this up on the screen. I'm sorry, it's hard to do some of this stuff as I try to talk. Let's share this in. And why isn't this working? Okay, here it comes.
Having some problems already.
Yeah, it's just one of those nights, but here it comes, and there it is. And now try to watch the kicker, Jeff, because I want you to tell me whether he's faking. Ready?
Yeah. You want me to tell you what?
Watch it. Just watch it, and then I'll explain it. Here it comes. That's him bent over. Now he missed a kick, a very makeable kick, and said he either got a hamstring, he pulled a muscle, or got a cramp. Is that one of those? The reason I missed it because I pulled a muscle, or do you think he legitimately hurt himself before the kick? But a very big miss could have tied the score up. Ultimately, wound up losing the game, 16-13.
Well, if he was lying, he's going to go in the back to the trainers, and sooner or later they're going to look at certain things, check him, twist his leg around, move his leg, turn it. Something may happen where they're going to be like, well, this guy should be in pain, but he's looking at us like for the next clue.
Yeah.
And I think that the team doctors or MRIs or whatever it is that they would have given him would have picked something up like no tear, no pull, whatever the case is. And that was the game, final 7 or 8 seconds left of the game, I guess.
Yeah, that was the end of the game right there. Had a chance to tie, take it in. Nice sack by Sheldon Richardson, a newcomer to the Cleveland Browns. Totally manhandles Joe Burrow. Jeff, let's move on. There's so I don't know if you watched it lately, but I told you I think on the Sunday show that the Chiefs' moment of unity was booed in their own stadium, and the big thing coming off that was so many different plays. One of the Jets, a bunch of J.J. Watt, who was in that game. A whole bunch of players came out and said, hey, I just don't understand. Why would people boo it? Why are people booing a moment of unity? And to me, it's a simple answer. You want to answer for J.J. Watt?
Yeah, because it's all bullshit, man, and it's more stuff being rammed down people's throats. It's nobody knows what the moment of unity is because all lives matter. No, that's racist. Black lives matter. That's racist. So if you're not on the slogan of the day, you're running behind the times, and you are racist.
Yeah, and listen, I keep saying it. I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. What is it you're exactly looking for, and how do you want to fix it? That's you can keep putting up these slogans, wearing T-shirts, but at the end of the day, what do you want, and how you're going to get there? And until you tell me that, to me, it's just a useless message. But
yeah, no,
I can't for the life of me understand why these players are so bewildered that people don't want to hear it. They don't want to be heard. They don't want to hear that they're racist, that the country's racist, that the country's no good. That we owe people things. Nobody's owed anything, and that's the part that bothered me.
You know what, Tom? You got to think of it a little less than a year ago. A year ago at this moment. Okay. We don't know what day it was, but it was probably in the middle of the week, just like it is now. And a football game is going to happen within the next couple of days, and just completely with COVID, with all of the racial shit that's going on, the possible culmination of Trump's run as president, and everything coming to a head.
Yep.
Within the next couple of weeks, it could be a very different world within the next, couple months.
Sure.
You just don't know what's going on.
Yep.
And every day something new happens that I don't care if these guys are athletes or not. They got to be sitting there thinking like, well, what the fuck? Last night I was able to wear this. Now I can't wear that. And, now this guy, even though he's third-year player on the team, he's like now the face of the franchise because he got caught wearing a shirt that said Black Lives Matter. And meanwhile, he's a Spanish punter from fucking Colombia or Ecuador or something, And you just don't know. And it's a shame because everything is getting ruined.
Yep.
Everything is getting ruined. And these guys, J.J. Watts and some of the other bigger names that, must be like, what the fuck? How does this happen? What happened to the league that I would played in? It's certainly not that league anymore. Just
Problems is, Jeff, they've made it this way. They've turned this into that to a certain extent. They've turned, again,
some of them. We don't know how all of them think because
no, I agree.
Some of them are very,
but they're all going along with it.
Yeah, they are.
That's the thing. So I agree with you. I think it's like basketball. To me, the basketball there's a handful of 4 or 5 guys who are pushing it. And again, I think the same thing in the NFL. There's a handful of guys who are pushing the issue, and everybody else or most of the rest of the guys are just don't want to rock the boat, and they're going along with it. But the NFL players are digging themselves a hole that, to me, I wonder if they're going to get out of it. I'm curious to see what the ratings this week are for tonight's game. We'll talk about on the Sunday show. What a bad play there by the Bengals. I don't know what was about to happen, but anyway, I think they're digging a hole, and I'm not sure they're going to get out. But digging a hole, Jeff. The big matchup of last week was obviously the Brady Breeze game, Saints Buccaneers. I know you didn't see it. I got to see parts of it. I watched all the highlights. I will tell you that I'll give you my opinion, and then I'll grab yours. I don't think it was a good football game for either team. I think the Saints were a little better. I said they've had the advantage because they're basically rolling back the same team, same coaching staff. I did not like the way Brady played. I did not like the way Tom Brady played, Jeff. So I think that's something that has to be watched. I don't know if you got to see his coach's comments on that. Did you see it?
No.
I'll play it for you right now.
Anything. I did know that Arians had something to say.
That's who you're going to hear from. You're going to hear from Bruce Arians right now.
There's a lot of, let's see, I'm interested.
Yeah, and this is going to be a little bit of a surprise. And you tell me if you think this is good or bad for the Bucks.
Kind of go back and look at the game tape. It just seemed like Tom was uncomfortable, right? That he was kind of caught in between. This is a new offense, no preseason games. We knew it was going to be hard. So now, how do you go back and sort of make him look like Tom Brady again?
Yeah, I mean, he looked like Tom Brady in practice all the time, so it's kind of unusual to see that in the ball game because they didn't do the things that we didn't get ready for. Everything they did, we thought we were ready for. We got some wide receivers had to do a better job of winning one-on-one when he decides to go their way, and he put us in the right run checks a couple of times. So it was a learning experience that way. Can't say that we were all sync because we started out as good as you could start out going right down the field. Then we don't get any more chunk plays other than pass interference penalties, and so. Yeah, I think it's a great learning experience. It's just round one of a 16-round fight, and we'll learn from it.
But I mean, when you have guys that change teams like this, and I mean, Peyton tried to do it. I mean, it's not.
Hey, I don't know if you heard, but
all right. So I didn't get all of what I wanted to, but he basically said Tom didn't play well.
Well, he had trouble last year.
Yeah.
And he wasn't the same player he was 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you think he's going to be a better player or the same player now.
Yeah.
With no rep, no work, new team, new system, new coaches, new players, new teammates, new everything.
Yeah.
I firmly believe that the guy's career is all but over. Like he's just chasing the dream at this point in time, and wants to see how he could do without Belichick. And I think that after this year, a couple more bad games, and it's going to be like, I'm done. I'm just done here. That's it.
Yeah, no, listen, Jeff, I can't argue. I didn't think Tom played well, and I didn't think Drew played exceptionally well. I just think they're with a better team, and it came out that way. But this was not a classic matchup. Tom had a couple bad passes. I don't know if you saw the interception for a touchdown by former Giant Janoris Jenkins, but bad pass. Made a bad read on an interception over Mike Evans' head. Gronkowski was a non-factor, Jeff. He looked like he was carrying me and you down the field.
Did he look like a player that hasn't played in a year?
Yes. Yes.
Just because he's there together doesn't mean now. Don't get me wrong. You still got 15, 16 games left to get this right, but I just don't see it happening.
No, I can't argue with it, Jeff. I was picking them to make the playoffs. I still will because I think they'll find ways to win some games. I think the NFC is tough. Next week we'll start to break down the NFC a little bit more. I want to get into power rankings. I want to start getting into the breakdown. We're gonna. I know you're a little tired. We're gonna wrap this up a little bit in a minute. I got one or two more things real quick. I think I wanted to get to. Week one, I'm gonna start a new thing, Jeff, called overreactions. Okay. So I'm gonna give you a list of things that I think people are overreacting to, and you tell me whether they are, aren't, or whether you give me your opinion.
Okay.
First overreaction: Philly's done. Overreaction or on the money?
Overreaction. Nobody's done after the first week of the season.
Okay.
Just a handful of teams.
Jets done.
Giants.
Okay. Are the Jets done?
Yeah.
Well, so is that your first statement's a little off there, Jeff?
No, I was in the middle of explaining that certain teams they were done before the fucking season even started. They were done since last year when the season ended. The Jets being one of those teams.
Are the Pats done without Brady?
Evidently not. I'm going to say no. Overreaction.
Okay. Is Brady done?
Yeah, I think so.
So that's not an overreaction? Okay.
Not an overreaction. I think that's on the money.
Okay. Fair enough. Ravens are going to the Super Bowl this year.
Overreaction.
Too early?
It's too early. The Ravens are going to go as far as Lamar Jackson could run.
Okay. Fair enough. That's this week's overreactions. We'll do that. We'll do that every week. Jeff, did you see the Rams uniforms this week by any chance?
Yes, I saw the colors.
They may be the worst. They may have overtaken the Washington Redskins as the worst uniforms in the league.
Well, I'll tell you the truth. You know who I put them on par with? The Los Angeles Chargers.
Yes, that I will not argue. That is very close. Yes, you're 100.
I
want to show you the interception in that game. This will probably be the last story for the night, Jeff. I want to show you. Did you see the interference penalty in the Cowboy? First off, take a look at the Rams uniforms. But did you see the interference penalty in that game?
No, I did not.
Okay, so the Cowboys are marching down. They're trying to get. I don't know if they're marching down to either go for a field goal or possibly win the game. 30 seconds left, and they complete a very long pass. I'll let you see the play and the replay, and then we'll talk about it. Why isn't it showing up on your screen, Jeff?
What's going on? You're having a rough time tonight, ain't you?
Hold on. I don't know. Hold on. I'll try it again. Let me stop sharing. Oh, there it is. It just popped up as I stopped sharing it. And there's that. And share. And let's bring it back. So, again, 30 seconds left in the game. The Cowboys are down 3. They have the ball.
Prescott going deep, and it's going to be caught. Michael Gallup beats Ramsey, but his flag is down at the 30-yard line. Ramsey contending that he was in the front. There's another flag. 30.
Bad uniforms, man.
Oh, horrendous.
And they're already coming.
Watch the flag. Now watch the penalty. Here it comes. Watch.
Pass interference. Offense, number 13. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, third down.
That was the penalty. Did you see it?
That little push off at the end there?
Yes.
That little push of separation?
Yes. Really? That was the penalty. That was the penalty call. Now,
so hard to call out.
Hold on. Watch it. Watch it up close. Oh, I
and I think he's
hold on. Let me go back a little bit.
Call that one.
Watch the hand on the shoulder. Oh, that's not me. It's them.
And I think he's got his arm out there, but I just don't see him forcibly push him off. And in separation.
Hold on. I want to see that up close. I love the fact that I could do this, by the way.
Yeah.
Uniforms. The yellow. Watch. That's them doing it. So yeah, I mean, I listen. I'm happy that they lost. Don't get me wrong. I hate the Cowboys and their fans and all of that. But that's a tough call. I mean, boy, that it's the letter of the law. If you read the thing, you cannot use your hand to push away. But to me, I didn't see anything that it wanted the flag. You?
No, it didn't really put too much on the play. It didn't turn like, a possible loss into a 98-yard touchdown reception or something like that.
Yep.
I wouldn't even have noticed it if they didn't call it, if they didn't flag it. I don't think it's something I would even have picked up on.
Yeah. I'll give the referees credit. How they even saw that. It's so minuscule in the speed of a game to see that. I'm kind of impressed by the referees. I got to be honest with you.
I got to find it. I would like to know and ask, was this a call by a referee that worked the Saints-Rams game a couple years ago and maybe bet on the fucking Saints?
Well, here's the thing. I'm better question. We noticed a bunch of referees who backed out. I'm wondering, was this one of the new referees?
It's possible, but I mean, don't you think somebody would have said that's not a foul, man? Come on, that's not a foul.
I mean, listen, it's that's a tough one. I have to tell you, I'm happy because I wanted them to lose, but the Redskins have the worst uniforms in the league. I have to tell you, there's nobody worse.
I don't know, dude. Them Rams uniforms are bad.
Yeah, I mean, they're red.
Color is like, what the fuck do you even call that color?
I have no idea. That is one of the worst set of uniforms I have ever seen in my entire life.
I would say.
Yeah. So, hey guys, we're gonna wrap this up for tonight. I'm gonna try to work on the show a little bit afterwards and see if I can get this back up and running for Sunday. Please make sure you come on Sunday. Jeff and I'll be back at it. We'll talk about the upcoming games. We'll break down the Jets and Giants, and we'll go around the league quick and give you our insight. So maybe you want to make a bet or two. Of course, go to mybookie.ag and place your bets. But make sure you come on back next Thursday night when hopefully I'll have this working properly and you'll be able to see us and we'll have some more fun with everybody out there. But
they'll be able to see us. They just have to go to YouTube to see us.
Yeah, I'll have to put this up tomorrow morning, and hopefully people will watch it. But we'll be back Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, and we'll be back next Thursday night, 7 to 10. Jeff and Tom here at Hard Rocket Sports. I hope you guys have a great weekend. College football's back, guys. I think everybody but the Pac-10. A couple of weeks we'll have the Big Ten, which I'm thrilled about. Jeff, I think I see, and I wish I think at some point I'm going to go to Nebraska and tailgate and watch my team from the parking lot. What do you think of that?
Well, just don't go during tornado season. You'll be all right.
Let me ask you a question. I've done a few stadiums in my day, baseball, football. I've gone to Tampa and Jacksonville, and I've seen games in Philly. For football, I've been to the Superdome. Do you have any sort of a bucket list of places you'd like to go see a game? No?
Nah.
See, me, I would – I want to go to Michigan. I want to go to the Big House. I want to go see a game in Notre Dame. I would love to go to Soldier Field to see a Chicago Bear game, and I'd love to go to Lambeau. Those are stadiums like I think I need to go see.
You have to, if you're going to go to those stadiums, you got to make sure you're going to Lambeau. You need to go there in fucking December. You need to feel
for full experience.
Yeah. Same thing with fucking Soldier Field, man. You can't go there in October. You need to go there like.
I don't know about that one, man. I don't know if I need the full experience. I don't need 3D, Jeff. I'm good with the regular glasses.
Week 14 in December.
Yeah. I'm not so sure I'm ready for that one, but yeah,
I game is the fucking sun is coming down.
I tell my wife all the time, like, I just want to go. I probably just need a partner in crime. Like, I don't think I have a partner in crime that would go to some of the games I would want to go to. But yeah, I think I have a bucket list. I used to be baseball stadiums, but I've done a lot of them. Boston, I've done Phillies. I've done a whole bunch on the East Coast. I've never gotten to go to. I want to go to Chicago, go to Wrigley Field, but. Football-wise, Jeff, I got a bunch of them I need to go to.
Wrigley Field might be a cool experience only because of Wrigley Field.
Yeah, well, that's just it. I've been to Fenway a bunch of times. I've been to Camden Yard. I've been to a bunch of those stadiums. But football-wise, a couple of college stadiums for sure. And I definitely I want to go to a Soldier Field, and I definitely got to go to Lambeau. I almost went to Lambeau, 20 years ago, and I had to drive my buddy to an airport. I was in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. Was it Oshkosh? No, Fond du Lac. Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, playing softball. and we got two in queued. We were there Thursday, got lost by Friday, and my flight wasn't home till Tuesday. I was stuck in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. So Sunday we were going to go to Green Bay and tailgate and hang out. We couldn't get tickets, but we figured we'd go. And a buddy of mine decided he wanted to go home. We were going to drive him to the airport, and we got stuck in such traffic that we never made it. So I was in Green. I was close enough to go, but never made it there. So it's one of my regrets.
Listen, you're still alive, though. You can always do it next year. You know, who knows?
Absolutely. But guys, make sure college football back this Saturday. Lots of good games. I don't know if everybody saw Clemson this week, but Clemson put on a show, and there was some really good football. Watch Army 2-0. The Black Knights playing great football, and they don't kneel. I guarantee you they don't kneel for the anthem.
No, I would love to see a college game at this point in time. I watched some college football earlier last week, but I would like to see it actually happen and see what happens. How do these college teams conduct themselves? You know what I mean?
Jeff, if you ever want to go to a game, even if it's just one game ever, you and I got to go to Army-Navy. It's the greatest football game. It's in Philly.
Well, let me know, man. Get tickets.
Army-Navy in Philly, Jeff. It's the greatest game you'll ever go to.
It's usually gray when they play that game. I know that much.
Oh, yeah. It's the first week of December. It's basically the last football game of the regular season. But the stuff that goes on during the game, you don't get to see 90% of it. It's the greatest game. I've been to 2 Super Bowls, tons of World Series. I've been to so many Stanley Cups. Army-Navy is the best game I've ever gone to.
Oh, dude, let me know, man.
So that's one you and I should go to. I will remember that if they're letting people in this year, maybe we'll try to go to it. But guys, I'm gonna let Jeff off the hook. Let him go. Let him get some sleep. He's got to work tomorrow. And we'll be back on Sunday. Make sure you tune in. Back next Thursday night. No guests in the near future. I haven't booked anybody. So it's just going to be a lot of Jeff and me. Although we might be getting Anthony Esposito. I'm not sure yet. We'll see how that works.
Have you heard from the disposed general manager or whatever he calls himself?
Producer? A phone producer? I have not heard from him other than some Facebook photos. That seems...
Wow.
I've not heard from him. It's got to be a month and a half, 2 months.
Okay.
No, I've not heard from him at all. So we'll see how it plays out. But guys, have a great night. Have a good weekend. For Jeff Tolwinski, myself, and everybody here at Hard Rock Sports, I say thanks for tuning in. We'll have it straightened out by next week, and we'd love to have you back on. So everybody have a nice night. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week. Hefe, I'll see you. Talk to you off the air.
All right, man. You got it, dude.
See you, pal.
Later.
Later.